Hello everyone, Amod here from Target Common YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to learn about method overloading concept in Java. So before I explain what is method overloading, I want to explain a scenario. Suppose we are creating a web automation framework using Selenium WebDriver with Java. And the major idea of creating a framework to provide some customized wrapper control on the existing method. For example, if you want to load an URL in a browser, then I can create a wrapper method on the get method which is responsible to load the URL with some more validations. So let me create a simple method first which will load the URL as it is. I am going to create a method here like public, keep the return type as void, load URL. And since I want to create a reusable method, so I will accept the parameter which will be the application URL which anyone can load. So let me have a parameter string and variable name I can give URL to be loaded. And here I'm not going to write the actual Selenium code, but I will use the simple sysout like sysout URL loaded, and I can print the parameter value. Now in the framework, I want to add the method which will load the URL and also it will assert the title after loading. So I'm going to create a new method like public void load URL verify title, and this time I'm going to accept two parameters. One will be URL and second will be what should be the expected title. So it will be type of string and I can have expected title. And here also I am going to have this statement. Apart from this, I am also going to have one more sysout which will print title. Now I want to add one more method which will load the application URL, will verify the title and verify if any element is visible on the page, just to confirm the page has been loaded properly. So I'm going to create another new method here like public void load URL verify title verify element, and this time I am going to accept three parameters and third parameter may be string element to look for. So here also I am going to perform these two steps. Then I am going to have one more sysout which will print element found, and let me print the parameter value. So let's implement a clean code practice here. If you see here, I'm just repeating some statements. Instead of writing this logic again here, I can call this method like load URL and just pass the parameter. So this is the way of writing the clean code. Here also, instead of copying these two statements, I can call the our method like load URL verify title, and I can pass URL to be loaded and expected title. We are missing the semicolon here. Let me create a main method from where I am going to call these methods. So obviously these are non-static methods. So I need to create an object of my class, and class name is method overloading. So let me quickly create an object of it. So here to call the first method which is load URL, I need to pass one parameter which will be URL. So I am going to pass something like Google. For the second method, I need to pass the two parameters which will be again Google and maybe home page, something I'm giving. To call the third method, I need to pass the three arguments. And if I run this main method, then it is going to call the proper method and it is printing the details as well. Now we can have some clean code practice here. Obviously, we need to name our classes or method in such a way that it should give the proper information what actually it is performing. Here by the name we can understand, okay, it is load URL, it is loading the URL and verifying the title, and here we are doing the load URL verify title and check the presence of the element. But we may have more methods, so we cannot keep longer method names, it is not readable. So instead we can apply some concept called method overloading that says that you keep the name same. That means instead of having these lengthy names, I can have the load URL itself here and here, and have the parameters in such a way that it will give the information that what you need to pass, or anyone can understand what this method is going to do. So let's correct the name here, and when I call these methods in the main method like method overloading dot load URL, we can see the same method name, but we have different parameters here. First one URL, second one we can understand, okay, we need to pass the URL to be loaded and what title we are expecting. Third one URL expected title and what element I am looking for. So by the parameter name we can understand that one. So here whatever we achieved by keeping the same name, but we have the different number of parameters here. This is nothing but called method overloading. where we have the same name but their method signatures are different. What do you mean by method signature here? So here it is taking one parameter, here it is taking two parameters, here it is taking three parameters. So method signature of all these three methods are different. So if I create a method and here I'm going to have some different name of variable like URL. So these two methods we cannot keep together because we have the same name, but here also we have one parameter, here also we have one parameter. Only difference, we have the different name of the variable. That does not matter. So what are the things coming in method signature? First one, there should be different number of parameters. We can have the same number of parameters as well, but the type of those parameters should be different. For example, instead of string, if I put the int, here also we have one parameter, here also we have one parameter, but the type of the parameter is different. So either you have the different number of parameters or have the different types of parameter. Even if we have the different order of parameters, then also we can have the proper method overloading. For example, I'm going to duplicate this method and instead of string, I'm going to change to int, or let me put one int, one string itself, and I can overload this method by switching the place. That means first parameter might be string or any type and second parameter can be int. So here both the methods name are same. They have the same number of parameters as well, but we have the different order of their parameters. First one is taking int and string, second one is taking the string and int. So this is also possible case of method overloading. So we need to remember we have three things: same name, but method signature should be different. In method signature, we can have the different number of parameters, different types of parameters, or different order of parameters. If anything is true, we can have the proper method overloading. This method overloading is also called as static polymorphism or early binding or compile time polymorphism. So you can see in the main method, I am trying to call the load URL and I have not passed any parameter here. So it is also possible to have a method without any parameter. So this will also consider as method overloading itself. It's not mandatory to have any parameter, but we cannot have another load URL without any parameter here because both will be same. So if I comment this load URL method without any parameter and come to main method, it is giving the error. It will give the error like it is not able to find any load URL without parameters. This error is coming at compile time itself. We know that if you are using any IDE, so it will keep compiling the code as soon as we write it, and it will throw the error at the compile time itself. That's why we call it compile time polymorphism, because which method will be called, that will be decided at compile time itself. This is also called static polymorphism because we have the same method name but in different forms. How many parameters we are passing, based on that it will call the proper method. Let's see some more basics about method overloading. If we have different return type, like first method is returning void, second is returning int, then let me return something 1. Let me change the parameter type as string. So here we have the same name, only one parameter in both the methods, but we have the different return type. Then also it is not the method overloading. Return type is not considered for the method overloading. Can we have the static and non-static in picture here? That means first method may be static and the second one we don't have the static. Then can we overload the method in this way? No, it does not matter whether method is static or non-static. It will not going to have any check on the method overloading. Now, one more thing. If we keep the one method as public, another as private, will this make any difference? No, this will also not make any difference. It does not matter what is the access modifier or specifier of the method. Only method overloading will be decided based on the method signature, which is number of parameters, order of parameters, and type of parameters. So that's all in this video. If you have any doubt, please comment on this video. If you really like my videos, please like, comment, subscribe, and share with others. Thank you, everyone.